Damn freaks almost got some sex scenes with Blonde Blazer.
Nah. Look, man, I was just looking on Twitter and I saw some stuff that IGN posted, and it was this interview that the writer for Dispatch gave. He gave it to Inverse, and he was talking about cut sex scenes. He said that when he was writing the game and when they were creating it, it took a lot of years. They're an indie studio, so it takes a little bit longer for them to get the games off the ground. And he said that the game went through a lot of different development, a lot of different things changing. He said that he did not expect that gamers would be as ravenous as they had been for the romantic options of the game. Obviously, he's talking about Blonde Blazer and Invisigal. He said that if he knew that it was going to be such a hot topic or such an interesting point for many, that he probably would have included more romance options. And in this article, they asked him if there were anything cut or any things that he didn't show. And he says that we definitely cut some sex scenes, which in retrospect, we shouldn't have. And then he says, maybe folks will get to see those one day. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure, I am like 1,000% sure that someone out there who romanced Invisigal would have loved to see her again get down and crazy like she did in episode 4. Now, I am also pretty fucking sure that some of you guys that romanced Blonde Blazer, me, would have loved to see maybe a sex scene with Blonde Blazer. And how crazy and wild do you have to be to say that shit out loud? Like, what's going on in your head that you're thinking about that? Do those scenes make or break the game? Absolutely not. Dispatch, to me, is a very good game in all aspects, whether it's a comedy, whether it's being serious, whether it's tackling some issues that you might feel personally. And then, of course, the romance options. I think the game is so good. But I look at something like The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I had never felt like this for characters since that game, because The Witcher 3 gave you an option. You either get with Yennefer or you get with Triss. Now, both options include a few different romance sequences. You kiss, you make out, you see some boobs. And then if you end up with Triss, you have this nice sex scene at this lighthouse. If you end up with Yennefer, you have sex a lot of times. And you see the sex scenes kind of play out. So it's like when you're playing these games and you're really entrenched in these worlds, sometimes you get curious to see that if you're with a certain person. So in my head, honestly, I almost thought this was a given because we got the Invisigal sex sequence dream in episode 4. I thought it was pretty badass. I thought it was like, damn. Like every time that I saw that, I was like, oh, like, do I choose Invisigal? Like it almost like you're pushing me there, but obviously no. I was like, no, I want to be with Blonde Blazer. The thing was that was a tease. That was oh, this is what you could have type thing. And so I thought because they did that with Invisigal and then they teased the little nip slip of Blonde Blazer, I was like, there's probably going to be a sex scene with Robert and Blonde Blazer if you decide to go that route. Definitely didn't choose her because of that. I wanted to be with her regardless, but I was kind of expecting it. I thought it was going to be like a real intense, romantic, badass scene. I'm not going to lie, yo, that's what I freaking thought was going to happen. I almost expected that to happen in the game because I just figured if you're doing that for Invisigal, you're probably going to want to do that for Blonde Blazer too at some point. And so with the writer talking about this, clearly, to me, I'm going to take this as there definitely was a sex scene or more sex scenes with Invisigal and definitely Blonde Blazer. Now, what does that mean for you guys? Are you about to rip your hair out? You can't believe it. You wanted to see it. I get it. Human nature and crap. But maybe we will get to see it one day because he said maybe folks will get to see those one day. Could that be through a DLC? Could that be through an update? Could that be through something? Who knows? Who knows how, if they even bring it out? But it might be something that you do get to see and something that you do get to experience. Now, it's funny because he says that seeing the reaction of the fandom, of the community, he now knows more of what people really like and what people want to see. Because you know, with a new IP, with a new game, new characters, new world, you don't know what's going to click and what's not. You don't know what's going to take off and what's not. And with the feedback, he kind of has an idea now. So if he does release these sex scenes at some point, if they do become part of the game in season 1, fantastic. If they don't, then with a potential season 2, which he says they are considering, it might get crazy. So, that is something to look forward to potentially if you're into that type of stuff. I thought it was pretty funny and I wanted to share this story with you guys. Are you disappointed that you didn't get to see Blonde Blazer in all her blazing glory? And are you disappointed that you didn't get to see Invisigal one more time?